Sadly, how it's made, Pokemon cards does not and probably will never exist. So today, I'm going to make my own. We're going to combine all the general knowledge of offset printing with the information published by WotC, Cartamundi, and Millennium Print Group in the form of equipment lists, descriptions, and their own video clips. In the intro here, we have an old and short clip of Cartamundi printing Pokemon cards in the WotC days, but we're going to do one better. This is how it's made Pokemon cards, not how it's made paper, so we are going to skip that step. At the printing facility, humidifiers control the moisture level of the cardstock, and it is monitored to prevent it from drying out and warping. Cardstock is brought in from a paper mill, and the layers are bonded by colored adhesive to prevent transparency. The lack of this colored core is a great way to detect fakes. The foil cardstock arrives with the holographic layer already on it, even though these facilities have the ability to adhere foil to paper, as we'll probably see later on. So here we are in the pre-press equipment, nicely outlined on the Millennium Print Group website. I would imagine that the files are probably sent from the Pokemon Company in Japan to be translated, then passed on to the print facility, maybe a Pokemon Company International division who looks after this. Software is used to design the sheets, and a low-resolution sample is printed, probably using this DJet 44-inch for two-sided imposed digital proofs. After that, they confirm that the sequence, color, and layout of the cards is correct before signing off. So it's possible they use this, or there's a couple other of the proofing devices that also can be used as a normal printer. Hard to say which one they're using, or if they always use the same one, or if one is a backup for another. But to give you a general idea, something similar to what you'd see at Staples or anything else, it's not going to give you a believable, even if you had the files, a believable Pokemon card, because it's an inkjet printer, basically what you have at home, but extremely large. Next, they create a digital proof. Laser heat transfers dots of colored foils onto a clear film. Laminating machine bonds the films to a sheet of the actual cardstock that they're using to produce the cards. And this is going to give you a printed proof, which is going to show you something close to the end result. And in the listing of devices, we have this guy here. Note that these are just printers, essentially, but when you have special attachments, they can be used for proofing. So keep that in mind. It doesn't really matter what they're using at this step. This is just to make sure that they're going to get the end result that they need, and there's nothing to do with high volume here, so we'll get into that next. Here are some examples of press equipment. So we have the Komori G40, Komori S Lithrone. Not sure which one they use, but very same functionality, different features depending on what they paid for. Now it's time to create the printing plates. A laser etches the design into the polymer surface of the printing plates and removes the unwanted scraps. To get the printing press ready, colored ink is poured into individual ducts for each desired color. Each fountain disperses ink evenly with the help of rollers. For Pokemon, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black twice, which gives us our CMYKK offset printing. Feeders transport the cardboard sheets individually into the printing press. The printing plates are mounted onto the rotating drums. Rollers transfer the ink onto the plate, onto a rubber blanket, and then onto the cardstock. Cardstock is once again stacked at the end of the line. Same sheets are fed back through the press upside down to do the backs. Why we have seen upside down back errors in the past, while newer and more expensive equipment has the ability to do both sides at once. Drying, all sorts of accessories can be added on. The technology has stayed relatively the same. You'll see differences in speed mostly, and ease of use, maybe more quality control, though it's hard to believe this day and age with the amount of mess that's coming out of these facilities. Here's a look at what they would consider the finishing equipment. So here you have your cutters, your foil. I would imagine this has something to do with the staff stamps and stuff like that. Any special stamps that need to be added after the fact that aren't a part of the cardstock itself. We have all sorts of other fancy things that they can do. Probably mostly nothing to do with Pokemon, but they have those options for their other customers. Here we go. We're at the die cutter stage. Where the sheets of printed cards are cut into columns, then into individual cards. Machinery like this has the ability to cut out even middle sections, which are discarded, not really needed with trading cards. Cards are all square cut until the corners are removed with a die. Why we see sometimes the corners are left on or partially hanging on when you receive the cards in the pack. The QR and text codes are computer generated, registered, and added to the code cards. We don't have the exact method or equipment used to package, to seal the packages, but it's pretty safe to assume that it's something similar to this. Both sides are crimped with heat, and then they are cut apart. So that's why we see crimped packs, why we see sometimes the cards getting cut by the slicer that's slicing the packs apart, and the same rules of booster pack wrapper. Here we can see that the cardboard packaging is made by the same print facility as the cards packaged inside. The machinery used to fold and glue it, and it seems that a lot of the packaging is still actually done by hand. Thanks guys for watching. If you've lasted this long into the video, I love you. If you'd like, join the Discord. Come hang out. It's a blast. See you next time.